Okay.
Give me a hand here, Will.
All right. Today's August 13th, 2016, and this is an interview for you, Nanny and Papa. Any of you can jump in at any time, okay?
Okay.
All right. First question is, what is your name, and do you know how your parents chose your name?
Vincent Triana.
Mm-hmm.
My parents first were going to call me Peter, and my older sister Catherine decided that my name would be better as Vincent. Evidently, she didn't like Peter. So that's how I ended up with the name Vincent.
All right. What about you, Nanny? Do you know anything about your first name?
My name was Muriel Triana, and my name Muriel was picked from a young girl down the block who was a successful lawyer.
Oh. Okay, wow. I didn't know that about you two. So there we go. We already learned something
I
new.
admired her.
Okay. Now, where and when were you born? And whatchamacallit, how many children were you? Well, basically, like, how many brothers and sisters did you have?
I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Mm-hmm.
I was the last child of a family of 5 that I know. I had a sister Catherine, Julia, and Phyllis. 3 girls. They're all older than me, of course. And my brother was 8 years older than I.
Mm.
And of course I was the baby.
Hmm.
And I did what I was told. I did not argue. I always let them think they were right, which they were most of the time. Go ahead. Go ahead, Muriel.
Who's my, what,
It was, where and when were you born?
126 Grattan Street, Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. And did you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I had, what was it, 3 sisters and
Yes.
2 brothers.
Okay, so a very big family.
Yeah.
And were you the youngest?
Was I what?
Youngest. You
I
were
was the baby.
Okay, you're both the youngest kids, I see.
right.
All right. Okay. What kind of things did your family do together when you were young?
What kind of things, what?
Your family when you were young, like when you were very young,
What
living
did
with your
we
family?
do?
Yeah, what did you do together? Maybe for
Well,
fun.
they used to get together mainly on a weekend. They all gather at my mother's house, and they talk, and they would have a couple of beers, and that was like a nice weekend, you know.
Okay. What about you, Papa? Was it the same thing for them, or?
No, we, being in Lewis, I just tried to be there when it was possible for me, if I wasn't out playing. And I didn't pay too much attention to it.
All right.
And then they didn't pay too much attention to me because I was the smallest. And I couldn't say too much because they were all talking.
All right.
That's about it.
Okay. Maybe could you tell me about some of your friends when you were younger? What did you used to do with them? You know.
We had a lot of friends. We had a few Albanian families on Willoughby Avenue, and they had a lot of boys. And there was a big crowd of us. We used to hang out on the streets of Willoughby Avenue and Whitecroft, and play all sorts of street games. In those days, we used to play punch ball, stick ball, hitting the ball against the stoop ball, we used to call it,
Yeah.
and kicking the can and ring a levio, all these silly games when you were a kid. Johnny on the pony, and being I was small, they used to have what you call a pillow the first fellow used to bend down, and then they would line up behind them, each team, and the other team would try to jump on top of you, and they would try to cave you.
Oh,
That was the game.
doesn't sound like a fun game.
Well,
No, maybe at the time,
they
but
always saved the fattest guy for the end to jump the cave us. And that's what it was. That was one of the games.
wow.
We played many silly games. Football, on the sidewalk.
It sounds a little rough.
Yeah, we did a lot of football. Ring Olivia, we'd run all over the area. We'd play, follow the white arrow. We would get in teams, and the team would get a 10-minute lead. And the other team would have to follow. They used to put a white arrow, and you would have to put a cross in it to show that you followed them.
Oh,
And you had one man with them to make sure that they were doing it correctly.
wow.
And you would try to catch up to them before they get back home.
Okay.
You would be running maybe over an hour before the game was over.
It sounds like it would definitely wear you out.
All over the neighborhood. That's one of the games.
Hey,
Go
do
ahead, Muriel.
you remember any, Nanny?
My friends, it was a group that I met through Grandpa. He lived in a different neighborhood, and I used to take a walk around with my girlfriend, and this one girl I was very friendly with said, come around and join our group, and I did, and I met Grandpa like that. And we've been together ever since.
Oh. Well, speaking of which, I wanted to actually ask you, how exactly did you two meet? It was through your group of friends, right?
We're friends.
Okay, and how did you know he liked you?
How did I know?
Bought her a lemon ice.
Yeah,
Nickel
he
or
gave me
3
a
cents.
birthday gift, a compact, I remember, which I never got from anybody.
Now, let's kind of skip it a bit. How did Papa propose to you, Nanny?
How did Papa what?
Propose? How did he ask you to marry him?
Well, he was going to go away in the service, and we decided we were going to get married.
Okay.
We were young, and he used to come to my house all the time, and we were going steady all this time, and we'd go out with other couples as a group.
Mm-hmm. Is that what you two would do for fun? You would go out with each other?
What's that?
Is that what you two would do for fun? You would go out with big groups, or?
That group, a friend of ours, and we had one couple in particular we used to hang out with all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Was they were together like us, they were young, and we were young.
Do you remember anything specific that you used to do for fun with each other? Like maybe did you
Oh,
dance
movies.
or?
Yeah,
Go to
we'd
the
go to
park.
the movies. Friday night, we'd go to the hot dog stand, remember, and go to the
Yeah.
movies.
The big deal was walking to the movies,
Mm.
going to the movies, and after the movie,
Yeah.
if you had any money, you would buy a hot dog or maybe go to an ice cream
And the
parlor.
man used to play I Don't Want to Walk Without You, Baby.
Oh.
We made that our favorite song.
It sounds like a nice one. I'll look that song up. I don't know if I've heard it though. But what was I gonna say? What made you choose the names for your children? I know like mommy's Delanne and
Why to pick the name?
yeah.
I wanted Delia was Dad's grandpa's mother's name, and Ann was my mother's name, but she called herself Annie all the time.
Mm.
And we tried to take her from families. And John was my brother's.
Hmm.
Both of them, John Miller
Mm.
Jr. and John Miller Sr.
Oh.
and Charles Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who he was taken there.
So we took the names of our grandmother, of our parents,
Mm.
and we took the first 3 letters of
John,
Ann and Delia,
Okay.
and we called Delanne Del, Yeah,
Okay.
the first three letters. And then
I don't remember a lot of stuff on.
It's okay, Nanny. You're doing fine.
and
You yeah.
Gary, when before she had the child, she was going to go to the hospital. We decided to call Gary Barry. And when we went to the hospital, I found out she
Changed
gave the
it to
name in
Gary.
as Gary. And that was the first time I heard that name.
And he was born on our
Fourth
anniversary.
anniversary.
Oh, it was a nice anniversary present.
Right.
What made you change it to Gary, Nanny? Do you remember? Do you just liked how it
Yes,
sounded?
You know, that was the time when certain names were really going. Everybody was using the same name,
Mm-hmm.
and they kept changing them, and so you picked a favorite.
Okay. So it's just something that sounded better to you, something that maybe was a little unique, I guess, or
You know, she liked the sound of the name, I guess.
yeah,
I said, you like the sound of the name,
yeah it's a good reason as any.
right? So I accepted.
I forget so much now. It's so long ago. I'm lucky I remember my own name.
It's okay, Nanny. That's one of the reasons why we do this, so we can remember, we can look back and remember. I was also going to ask, do you have any special memories about your children, maybe Mommy or Uncle Gary?
Special memories.
Memories of Gary and
Yeah, and Mommy. Any ones that stand out to you?
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, whatever.
All I know is right
yeah.
now he's gone, and I disrupt my memory.
Well, when he was with us, do you have any favorite memories about him or things that make you smile when you think about them?
Oh,
He was a good speller as a kid. He was a better speller than I.
and always eating. Always eating. I
And
never
he was
had.
skinny.
He was skinny, but he always ate. He's always looking to eat. Go to his grandmother's house, and anybody say, "Got anything to eat?" My mother used to say, "Did you feed that child?"
Well, like you could see, you did feed him pretty well, and he always loved you both very much. What about Mommy? Do you remember anything specific about?
How about Del?
What do I remember about Della?
Yeah, any maybe special memories you have of Mommy?
I remember when I was fixing my father's house up. My mother had passed on. And Del was maybe 5, 6. And she wanted to do everything I did, so I used to give her a can of paint and a brush
Oh,
and put
yeah.
her in the corner of the room and let her paint the wall. And she loved it. And she was pretty smart.
She was very ambitious.
Mm.
She did everything you had to do. She was a good kid.
Yeah,
She was very independent, too.
yeah.
She used to love her Aunt Betty
Mm.
and Uncle Louie. And Uncle Louie was my sister's husband who died of a brain tumor.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But she loved Aunt Betty. She always would go with them to Pennsylvania and stay over.
Mm.
And she used to love that. If you ask questions about her, she'd tell you all her favorites. She remembers more than I do.
Hmm. Okay, I'll definitely ask her about that. Now, I know you both had jobs at one point in time. Could you maybe tell me about maybe a couple things that you did? I know
What?
jobs. Like I know Papa, you were like I know Papa, you were a fireman. Nanny, didn't you work in a factory at one point?
Oh, I was a factory worker.
Yeah.
I worked in Oxford Fire and Supply.
Okay. And how long did you do that?
After I got married young. I didn't work anymore.
Okay. You're a full-time wife and mother, I know. You know, and you did a lot for everybody. Papa, I know you were a fireman. You were also in the Army.
Well, I also worked in a machine shop. We used to make diamond wire dies. It's drilling a hole in the diamond
Mm-hmm.
in a casing and they make it at specific sizes. And I used to use them to draw wire through at 2,500 feet per minute.
Mm.
That's the diamond. And I did that for several years. From the time I got out of high school, I was 17, went to work. And I did it till I got drafted
Mm-hmm.
in 43. And when I come back, I went back there. I was out of the service 1 week when a plane, I had worked on 34th Street, across the street from the Empire State Building,
Hmm.
on the 13th floor. They called it the Pet House. It was a floor of machinery. And a plane, a B-25 bomber, hit the Empire State Building.
Oh, wow.
And I was out of the Army 1 week. So I wasn't going to go back to work there.
Yeah.
But I was nosy
Mm.
to see the damage the plane had done. So I went up to the 13th floor where I worked so I can look out the window there and see.
Mm.
And I was talked into coming back to work. And then I got out of the service. Oops, hand me the telephone, please.
All right, hang on. I'm going to pause this for now.
All right.